So welcome to Limitless Faith Podcast. We have a treat for y'all today. I adore this girl, and I am so glad that she was able to join us and just give us her testimony and just inspire the world. So welcome back, Miss Charnelle. How's it going?
Hi. Everything is wonderful. How is everything?
Doing good. I am just excited for your story. I know you like share me bits and pieces, but I'm like, now I get the whole thing. So
I know. Finally.
Yes, and the world needs to hear it. So let's put it on out there. So you have a very, very powerful testimony, and God has just used your experiences and your background just to pave this way for you and for you to just bring forth breakthroughs for others. And so I want to dive more into that. So leading up to these experiences, describe your childhood. What was that like?
Well, my childhood, I'm going to say it was kind of lukewarm and I say it lukewarm because my mom, she always had me over my grandma's, and my grandma raised me up in church, always in church. But when I got with my mom, I could do what I want to do. So it was kind of like, like just everywhere. So, but I did grow up in the church. And then as a child, like it was a little rough because my dad died when I was young. Like I want to say 2, he died when I was 2 from sickle cell anemia. And my mother, like she just, from what my family say, like she just mentally lost it after my dad's death. So she wasn't very present when physically she was there, but emotionally and like how to cover me spiritually and stuff like that. No, she wasn't available for me. So it was kind of rough. Like I was angry a lot as a child, sad, didn't even know why. I was quiet too though, but I was, I didn't really interact with people much, but
Definitely not quiet now.
No, I grew out of that.
Yes.
Thank God. But yeah, so I grew up kind of in a lukewarm type of lifestyle. Grew up half in church and grew up half worldly, if that
Right.
makes sense.
That does. I think we were all kind of there, at least at one point, to where, we still had a foot in the world. We knew what was right and wanted to do the right thing, but we still like, this feels good though. Let me, be over here. So
Yes.
describe what the lifestyle was like that led up to your incarceration. What like kind of choices were you making? What was happening? What was going on?
Mm, 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 mm. Well, I ended up just hanging with the wrong type of people. I guess, I'm just falling in with the wrong type. I would steal, I would smoke, drink. I was just living a wild life. I'm not even gonna lie, like I was promiscuous. Like I just had that mind frame. Like I just didn't care. I didn't care about anything. Just wanted to live my life how I wanted to live it. Didn't think about consequences or any of that. So I feel like a lot of that led up to the decision that led to me, being incarcerated and everything. And fighting. I definitely fought a lot. I grew up fighting a lot for some reason. But yes.
So do you feel like you had like a lot of built up aggression, something that needed, you needed a source to let it out? You need an outlet
Most
for it.
definitely. Most definitely, especially with my mom not really being present, and then um it was just a lot of personal things with her not being there. My mom, growing up with my mom after my dad passed, she became a lesbian. So I grew up with a lot of that, getting teased in school about it. Because where I come from a small little city town. And everybody know everybody. So, and everybody know your business. So, like going to school, having to hear that. And also another situation with me and my mom, something had happened and it was just crazy. So a lot of that, like me and my mom, we actually fist fought. Like, so yeah.
So you was out there living in the world, making all these different decisions, and then you experienced this wake up call. Just describe that for us. What was this like for you?
The wake up call. Actually, the wake up call didn't happen until I lost custody of my daughter. Um,
Okay.
it happened, but it still didn't hit me right. Like, it hit me, but it didn't like hit me enough to really just make me like leave. At that time, I was in an abusive relationship, so it didn't hit me enough to like fully get me to where I would just fully stop, seeing him and everything, because another
Mm.
situation ended up occurring that landed me into prison, so I never could get her back. And so, I'm sorry, y'all, but
You're good.
so yeah, so that happened, and I want to say when I actually got in prison, I had my wake up call, like a really more in depth, because I spent a lot of time with myself. And especially when I got transferred to a different prison in Troy, when I ended up going to a single cell. So I had a room to myself. So I had nothing but time to think, get close to God, pray. I started going to their churches that they had there. I joined this group thing called Agape Love, where it was like a 3 month retreat type thing where we participated in nothing but just experiencing the love of God and just everybody telling their stories and everything. And we even got certificates and stuff like that when we finished. I joined the choir in there because I love to sing, and I ended up being a singer. So yeah, so I kind of got that wake up call there, but when I got out, I was reality set back in, and I still had my wake up call. Like, I didn't go back to doing like stupid stuff, like, but I did start hanging out with those same type of people again. That did ended up getting me into a situation that, because I was there, I reaped the consequences of it. Um, so I had to do 2 years probation with that, and that really was just the ultimate wake up call. Like, you know what? In order to get your life back together, you just gonna really have to really change your mind frame, change the friends that you hang out, not, trying to live a right life. So, and you are the environment that you stay in, and if you choose to, you will become that. So, and if you want to do something different, you gotta yourself from it and also fix you. So that was really like the wake up. Like, if they was trying to put me back in prison, so it was like, if any little wrong thing could have landed me, and then I would have been in there for years. For like, yeah, y'all wouldn't be seeing me right now. So, but by the grace of God, I got probation because I was fresh out, like just got off of parole. So, but now I got the wake up call, and now since then, I just strive to be all that God has called me to be, and try to lose more of me every day and become more of Him, His character. It's a struggle, it's a daily battle, but it's worth it, and I love it. And I know it's gonna get me where I need to be, and I know with submitting to Him, because He already told me I'm gonna have all those things. I'm getting my daughter back, all of that, but I gotta give it to Him first. So that's where that wake up call really hit and stuck. Hit and it stuck. Tired of getting whooped. Tired
Yes.
of repeating cycles. Because when I tell
Yes.
you, the cycles, they hit you hard, and they, like, you, next thing you look at, you like, dang, I know I done went through this. It might be different people around, but it's still the same
Hmm.
type of thing. And it's just some point, like, He will use that frustration, like, people be like, God, take it away, take it away. No, I'm going to use that to uplift you, to bring you out, so that way you will make that change, to get tired of your own mess, to make that change and come to me, and then you will be set free. So I got a hard little knocker right here. So it took me a couple butt whoopings
Yes.
for God to get me back on track. But thank God he never let me go, you know, because then I'll tell him
Yeah.
where I'd be right now.
I think so many times we like to blame the devil for, the temptations and for bringing things into our lives. But sometimes it could be, God testing us like, you didn't pass it last time. So we're going to try this again, see if you're going to get it right. And if you're going to give it to me this time. And so that cycle, the way we look at it, we have to change our
Yeah.
mindset when it comes to it.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry if I get a little teary eyed. Like when I just look back and I think about all the things that I've been through and how his grace and his mercy carried me. And
God
even
is
knowing
so
that I'm not even supposed to be alive to this day, and the fact that I still have strength to go on through my day with not having my daughter, like I beat depression because I used to suffer from that severely, like just bad. Like, and I'm finally at a point where I don't even suffer from depression anymore. Like, I get sad, but it's not like in my dark places where I used to go. Just in my room, I'm not bathing, I'm not eating, I'm not sleeping. I'm just laying in the bed. I'm miserable in the dark. Like, don't want to talk to nobody, type thing. Like crying all day. Like, can't even, you know what I'm saying, like deal with anybody. I wouldn't even be able to take care of a child if I had it because I was so depressed. So it's
wow.
just, yeah, just, yes,
God just has a way of making himself known. And the fact that he fills in where we fall short. So when we're weak, that's when he's at his strongest in us. And so that's amazing. I
yes,
just pray that God continues to pour into you and give you his peace and his strength and his comfort and everything you need in this moment while you're still pushing through.
yes, definitely.
So I want you to describe the moment for me that you was like, okay, I'm going all in and I'm living out God's will for my life. What was that like and what got you to that point to where he's like, nothing else matters. I'm not letting anything stop me.
Actually, it was, I want to say around New Year of 2020, around New Year of 2020. Um, maybe like a tad bit, little bit before it because I had started getting into like fasting and stuff like that. But actually, it was I had a dream. Like I never told anybody. I haven't. This is my first time telling it. But because I had just really had been asking God to show me me. Like just like I'm just tired of hurting and from pain that people has caused me. But what is like? Is it really me? Is it like just show me me? What am I doing to make myself hurt? What am I doing to keep myself stagnated and repeating the same things that I go through? So just please just show me me and came to me and like I just didn't like the things that I saw. I didn't like what he told me. Even when I would pray, he would reveal things to me and show me things because that's a gift that he gave me. I'm a visionary. He like I see things. I have dreams. And I just really didn't like what he showed me about me. So it was just like if I don't change, I'm not gonna get my daughter. I'm not gonna get I want nothing is gonna go right. I'm just gonna keep repeating everything over and over and over and over again. And at some point, I have to be willing to be a living sacrifice so I can get everything that he has. And he was, and so with him just letting me know, like, listen, those things that those ideas that come into your mind, those desires that are in your heart, they're coming from me. That's because that's what I have for you is waiting for you. But I can't give it to you while you're like you are. I can't give it to you while you have all this anger. I can't give it to you while you still carry shame. I can't give it to you while you still feel guilt. I can't give it to you when you don't love yourself. If I give it to you, you're not going to know how to keep it. You're going to lose it. So it was just like
Do I love my comfort zone more, or do I just really want everything that he has for me? And I'm tired of living the same. I just sometimes you just got to get tired of your own mess. So I said I just cried out in my living room, the fashion, everything. I mean, boo-hoo and crying. I just scream loud. I get you. I surrender. I can't do this by myself. It's hard. I'm trying. It's just so hard. Like, take it all away. Just take it, take it, take it. Just give me you. Take me away. Give me you. Take me away. Fill me with you. Like that became my daily prayer, and it still is to this day. He's just so graceful and gentle. Because
Yes.
him to take everything away. He's like, no, just be patient. I'm gonna do a little at a time. Because if I do it all at once, girl, it'll make you whew, can't handle it. I love that.
Yes.
So gentle. He's so gentle and caring, and the things that he'll whisper to you in your ear to let you know that he loves you and that just keep going. Don't worry about what everybody else say. It may seem like you're getting worse in this area, but actually I'm releasing it out of you. I'm letting it go, and then before you know it, you won't even be reacting like that anymore. So yeah, that's where that came in at. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's beautiful. No,
Yes,
God is such a gentleman.
yes, he is. He is a true
Yeah,
gentleman. A true gentleman. And he love his girls. He love his women. He love his men
he
down
sure
too.
does.
His women. He is.
I think us as women, we get to the point to where we look for our definition from men. And so when we actually understand who God made us to be and how God sees us and just, man, we will see how beautiful we really are, how beautiful he made us from the inside out. And it's just like, I wish more women knew that. And Charnelle, I'm going to tell you this. There's a possibility for us to do a women's conference in Phoenix this fall.
I'm
I'm
down.
gonna want you on board.
Yeah.
I gotta fly you out, whatever. I want you.
So like, and you know, as more as like I keep getting fed by, also being encouraged about you, like more and more. Well, I'll be more comfortable to release more. Like some things is just still a little touchy. Like I know I'm not trying to be sitting here looking like a big boohoo baby. Girl,
No, you're
it'll
good.
take me there. Trust me, yes.
Yeah.
But
God is definitely opening doors. I'm ready. I'm like, okay, God, whatever you got for me, I want it. And I think it's funny how, like, even starting Limitless Faith, like, I didn't feel like I was ready to, minister or whatever God had called me to do. I'm like, God, I'm still growing. I'm still learning. And it's like, as God has me pour into others, he continues to pour into me. So while I'm teaching y'all, he's teaching me at the same time. So it is not even my words, it's his through me. And so I'm like, dang, God, this is really for me. And so it's like in those moments that he's stretching us, it's not just for other people, but it's definitely for us. It's so. Just man, that double-edged sword.
let me tell you, make that decision though. When I tell you Satan, he comes with all his tricks. And people think just because you give your life to God, like things get easier. If anything, it get worse because you got to be tested. You got to be tested to see if this is really what you want to do. Are you really going to keep your faith? Are you really going to follow me? Are you really going to try to withhold those distractions? Are you really going to, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Spiritually, like,
Yeah,
man. When I tell you that, it's worth it though, because
it
it's
is.
just with Jesus dying on the cross for our sins, man. This is nothing what we go through. Like he whole life gave his life for us, got tortured, got beaten, like had to bear that big old heavy cross and have those thorns and stuff placed on his head, like had nails nailed through his hand and his feet. Like he made the ultimate sacrifice. So it's like if you did that for me, it's selfish of me not to even give me you. Like you whole life died for me, so all my sins can be forgiven.
Yes.
Every no matter the sin. except for blasphemy. I think I don't play around with that blasphemy. I don't want a sin of mine not to be forgiven. But then again, he's so graceful and merciful. Like, he understands when we get angry and stuff too. He might forgive a person that blasphemies his name. If they really serious
Yeah.
in heart. Don't somebody out there, if you watch ever use blasphemy with his name, if you truly serious, don't think that he won't forgive you, because hey, he's a graceful and merciful God, and you don't go by what man say, you go by his word. So,
Yes. Man.
and men out there that cannot be for like too big for him to never ever love you or even want you to be his child. Because I know, like, with the things that I've done out there, crazy while I'm doing robberies and stuff that led to my incarceration with the no good dude, letting him beat on me, going in and out from shelters with my daughter, sleeping in cars, sleeping outside in bank parking lots because I didn't really want to be up under no bridge. So I would just, when the banks closed, I would just, when it got dark, just go there up under that little shed thing, where the
Mhm.
cars drive through, with my daughter that was 2 years old with sickle cell anemia, and she never had a sickle cell, and that's how good he is too. Like, but that's how I know my father loves me. My daughter got the same type of sickle cell disease, the sickle cell SS, the worst case, the one that killed the one that my father died from. My daughter doesn't get sick. She doesn't get sick at all. She's probably only gotten sick 5 times. And then when I was in prison, like, I really prayed, like, God, just, I'm not out there. I can't be with her. And ever since then, she hasn't been sick.
Wow.
They be like her blood look like she has sickle cell, like, oh, because that's because my God healed her. I don't even claim that. My baby got what? No, she don't. She don't got
Right?
that. Cells
Complete
don't
and
like, and that's
total
like
healing.
her
Yes.
cells up like that. They're no sickle shape. So that's like that right, and that keeps me holding on to, like, just little stuff like that. He just does to let you know that I'm here. I'm here. Hey, I'm here. You walking too
Mhm.
far, come back, but I'm here. Let me show you this real quick to let you know I'm still here. I'm here. Don't wander off too far. I'm here. So,
Yes. Man, God is so amazing.
very, I call him extravagant, miraculous,
Yes. There's no word even big enough to describe.
that word I can't even pronounce, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, whatever that word is.
Right.
Everything.
Everything.
So, but that was my, yeah, that wake up call, and I'm glad I had it. I'm glad I had it. Everything. I feel like it was everything that I went through was just a partake of a wake up that took place to my major wake up call. It was all leading to my awakening. That's all it was. He brought it to me slow. Like, he gave me that choice gradually. He didn't, even though I had to endure the things that I went through, but at the end of it all, it uplifted me. He uplifted me from it, and now I can help someone else, or even prevent them from getting ready to fall for that trap, fall into it. Because but a decision away from saying, hey, to that guy you think he the one, a year later, all of a sudden he just switched. So, yeah, and it was blessed. Like, I met some wonderful women in it too. Like, it's wonderful. I'm just at awakening. And then I met y'all. Y'all were part of that too, because I ended up meeting Denise.
Oh.
Actually, I met her doing my, and I got into, like, getting my body healthy with exercising and working out and everything. So that's how I met you all, because we did our workouts together, and we all got to talking, and me and her, we just clicked, and we just got real personal. And she was like, you know what? I got somebody I want you to meet. You need to be a part of Lemon, da 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 da. And then boom, I meet you, and here we are today. So I just feel like God's just doing wonderful things, and the type of people that I've been praying for Him to put in my life, it's crazy. He's blessing y'all. I prayed for you. I prayed for Denise. I prayed for everybody with limitless faith, like, and people with intentions like you all that love the Lord, that want to strive to get closer, that want to help bring other people. They're coming around in my life. But the crazy thing is, though, I prayed for y'all, but y'all are not in the same city as me. That's the thing. So I'm like, okay, God, you know I want to travel. So maybe He's just setting it up in ways to where I can get out of my comfort zone, staying in my city, to go get go, you know what I'm saying, go see this big, beautiful world that I placed there for y'all to see. And now you have connections here and there. You have friends here and there. So y'all can
Mhm.
spread together in different places. You can come here, speak with people here, you know. We can go to Denise's city, where she at, and go help people there with her. Like, it's a beautiful, like, thing. I don't know. He really works on my perspective. I look at things in a more broadened view now. Like, I don't look at it, oh,
In
I'm
a
just
more
meeting,
right.
or I met y'all for future possibilities that we might actually end up freaking having home or something, or you know what I'm saying, places to put runaway children together, you know, like just stuff like that. Like, you never know what can come out of anything. So definitely. Whew. I had a beautiful awakening. I loved it though. It's like, it hurt, but it was like a good kind of, like a hurt release type of hurt. Like, I don't know how to describe that moment, but I just know I was so sleepy. What I tell you, after I let all of that go, I don't know what it was. I guess God was like, my daughter, now go lay down. You let it go. Now just gotta let it go. You just gotta continue to. Then you gotta work on your mind. You gotta work on fighting those thoughts to keep it from coming back. Because the devil, he gonna try to bring it back up to you once you let it go. But when you do actually fully release it, it's like such a heavy weight and a drainage that you feel like, oh my God, it's just gone. And like, I literally was, I laid in the floor and just fell asleep because I was so drained. I didn't even get up. I had no energy. So I was like, okay, God, this was like a true spiritual thing. Like, all of that came up off
Mhm.
of me. Like, it wore me out. I don't know if anybody has ever felt like that during a spiritual awakening or a spiritual releasing, when you just releasing all your everything that hurt you and giving all your burdens to God. Like, whew.
Right. That's funny. I used to have this reoccurring dream, and I never understood it until like maybe a few years after I was having it. But in this dream, I was always lugging around these heavy, like flat tires. It's like I would be driving my car, and then the car would break down, the tires go flat, and then I'm taking the tires off and just lugging them. And then the last dream I had that ended the, recurring dream was I pulled up at a gas station, and the man at the next pump was like, "Why are you carrying around all that baggage?" And
Mm.
I was like, there had to be Jesus to show up in my dream. But it was like I was carrying around all this stuff instead of giving it to God. And when we like really release it and give it to God, and we just feel that heaviness, that burden just lift. And it's amazing because it's not just a physical that we feel, but it's also spiritual. Right? So God is so good.
Yes, he is. It really is.
Yes. So tell us, what are your plans for the future? Has God shown anything, revealed anything? Like, what do you see happening? I know you have like this big vision.
Well, for one, I'm always in growth and be a part of Limitless Faith. Because Kayla, like, you helped me out so much.
Oh,
Like, I've all of that. I would have never had the guts to get on here and do something like this. Like, but I don't know. It's like you come through the phone. Your spirit comes through the phone. Like, it's just that
that's all God.
comfortableness. And also, I also want to. You also inspired me to kind of like do ministry too. I don't know. I don't. I guess so. I guess you could call it. I don't know if it's more inspirational or ministry, but either way, I'm going to be talking about God on my YouTube channel. So, but I'm also going to be talking about like life situations that we go through and like how to handle them, like coping mechanisms and stuff. I'm gonna be real big about mental health on my channel. Um, Stuff, like lifestyle, beauty, and everything. Cause y'all know I love to do makeup, so I gotta my little makeup tutorials and stuff on there. But I wanna get into real estate, but I wanna purchase like either houses and duplexes or apartments and stuff, so I can start a program for women when they're first getting out of prison, because we don't have a lot of places where women can go. When I first got out of prison, I had to stay in a boarding house with men. Like, and that's not cool, you know?
Right.
And also too, like I wanna have resources for children that have to deal with their parents being incarcerated, because we're locked up, but our family, they suffer on the outside too, especially our children, because we're taken away from them. We're not there to help them. They're getting raised by somebody else. And you don't know can't nobody take care of your child better than you. So,
Right.
I want to do something with that, and also like helping with runaways, helping girls that's been in domestic violence situations, because I've experienced that. I want to help people. I want to help end homelessness. I want to help with poverty. I want to help people get there, because like God, like I don't know, like it was just one moment at one point of my. This was actually last year, and even still now, like He just had me really researching like on finances, stocks and bonds, and like just ways to invest money and how to start businesses and all types of stuff like that, because you know what I'm saying? You gotta, and I want to teach other young girls that, other young women, even young boys, like it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna discriminate, but I really just want to target our younger generation, because that's who, like, we need them, and our young girls and our young men. And I want to have a male come along to actually really focus on our young men, because we need to tackle the men first. I feel like, because that's who God created first. So Satan
Mm-hmm.
attacks us. We get it too now, but he definitely attacks the men more, because he
Yes.
knows get it together, and they actually know the dominionship that they have over this earth, and when they walk in their authority, it's gonna be a wrap. So I want to teach young males to do that, because I have a son now, and I want him to know the authority that God placed on him. I want him to know that God created him to be a leader, to lead nations, to go out there and don't be ashamed to talk about God. Be bold in His name, because if you bold for Him, He gonna move boldly for you in front of everybody, honey. Like, and I want young kings and queens to know that. So I want to help with all the women. I want to help teach them how to deal with it, how to feel yourself getting into it, how to so much. Like he's giving me a huge vision, like a huge one. Like I just like, cause yeah, yes, he's giving me a whole
And,
yes,
and you're gonna do everything that He's placed in you because He already given you the abilities to do it.
yes.
Man, that is so beautiful.
Thank you. So that's what I want to
A
do.
big heart. You have such a pure heart. And one of the scriptures I was reading the other day was saying that God is with those in the pure heart. And so I was just like, oh, I said that's Charnelle.
Thank you. It feels so being on this podcast and telling all of
So
that.
I think
It's
I
like
like the
every time I tell it, it's a healing process. I heal more and more every time I tell it, because I was the type that always hold things in and never, because I grew up, what goes on in this house stays in this house, or What you go through, you just keep it to yourself. You deal with it. You chuck it up. You move on. You know what I'm saying? You grow some BALLS's, some balls, and you go on about your life. Excuse me. So y'all Holy Ghost is watching, but that's how I grew up though. Like, so
Yeah, right.
you don't really express your feelings like that. Like, you go through it, life moves on. So, but the more and more that I share it, like, even it helps me to share it. It heals me more and more. So I'm just blessed and I'm grateful that you even considered me and thought about me to even be a part of Limitless Faith and be on this podcast. So I thank you.
Um, I think it's funny how so many Christians, they're so quick to judge because they're, keeping up this persona like we're supposed to be perfect. And they're sweeping stuff under the rug and not talking about things that skeletons is going on in their closet. And so they're so quick to judge when they see somebody else's. But I'm so glad that God got me into the mindset of, hey, I've done dirt too. I've lived in in that world too. And I've done things, even though, you can't see it on me now because of God's glory and his grace, but it's like I have to reach those who have been through those things because they feel like they're alone and they feel like that, they're maybe the only one and that all Christians do is criticize and judge and stuff. But in reality, a true follower of Christ doesn't act like that. And so we need
And
to be the ones to show them who a Christian really is and who we should be.
And actually, God tells us to confess our sins amongst one another so that we may be healed. So we're supposed to share our sins with each other. Like if I have a problem with smoking, I'm supposed to be able to come share that with you so you can help, so that we can pray about it, bind it up, rebuke it, and
Mhm.
we can be healed. Or you have a sex addiction, you should be able to come to me and talk to me about it.
Yes.
Like, but a lot of Christians, that's what hypocrisy come in, and it's like, if you're supposed to be my brother and my sister, but you're judging me, how can I come to you and confess my sins with you when I know you're going to judge me? So
Yeah.
it's like a lot of us, like Christians, a lot of Christians, they pick and choose what they want to follow in the Bible. Like, no, you go by everything.
Mhm.
Can't pick and
God wants you
choose
all
what
in.
to live.
You're
There's
right.
no way possible. And a lot of people do that. And that's just, you can't do that. You can't do that and experience the fullness and goodness and glory and grace of God. You can't. It won't happen. You're lukewarm still.
You're right. God wants you hot or cold, because if you in the middle, he don't know where you stand.
Come
Mhm.
as you. God didn't judge. He didn't judge prostitutes. He judged no one. He was like, "Do you believe me?" That's all he wanted to know, and I'll save you, and you will be healed from it, and that sin is remembered no more. You ain't a prostitute no more. Follow me. All that was taken away from you.
Yeah.
Drug addict anymore. Once you came to me, all that was taken away from you. You're
Hmm.
not more. You're not a murderer anymore. It's sick and it's sad, but you're not a child molester anymore. If you come to me and you really let that go, that's nothing but the ending. Like it hurts my heart, but I don't even really hold that person at fault because it's not them. When you do things like that, it's not you. That's not who you are. That's the enemy manipulating your mind. He's using you.
Hmm.
That's so. Uh,
Yeah.
so when you get that awakening, you start realizing all of that. You're less to judge. You won't even look at the person that's doing it in a bad way. You'll look more at them as like, man, I need to pray for you because that's not who you are.
Hmm. They don't even realize they doing it.
Right. So,
Mhm.
but yeah,
I think so many people feel like they need to be perfect when they come to God, but God meets you where you are. And he will give you rid of those desires of your heart. He will, transform you from the inside out. He'll renew your mindset. And so it's like all he's asking you to do is just say, yes, God, I welcome you. He's not asking you to, try to beat that addiction yourself or, try to, get rid of those lust problems or whatever yourself, because he has the capability to do all that.
yes, he knows we can't do it by ourselves. He knows our flesh is weak. We battle against fresh. I mean, I said fresh. We battle against flesh, our spirit. He knows this. He created us. He knows this. Even when we
Yeah.
try to hide. Saw you smoke that blunt. They may not have saw you, but I saw you. Oh, you went and you fornicated. Oh, they may not have saw you, but I saw you. I see everything.
Mhm.
He still loves us. He still loves you. There's nothing that you can do that can separate his love from you. And everybody out there that's listening and watching and whatever, you need to know that there's not that doesn't give you an excuse to keep going out there, just keep doing things that you do, because God, he has we have emotions and feelings because he has emotions and feelings. And
Mhm.
you turn a deaf ear to you. At some point, he's gonna be like, "Okay, you've made your choice. I'm not gonna keep trying either because that's your choice that you're making." And he gives us free will to make a choice. So,
Right.
and he knows our heart, so he knows when you really choosing another way and versus when you really trying to choose him and you're just struggling. He knows the difference. So,
Yes.
so that's how I act. I don't care what you do. Yeah, I ain't gonna look at you and judge you no other type of way because I've did my share of things too. So all I'm gonna do, like, look, we can just pray together. We can come up against it together, and we can be healed together. And I'm gonna love you the same. I'm not gonna judge you. That ain't for me to do. That's for God to do.
Yes.
Then when you go to heaven, just worry about that. Don't worry about what I think or what nobody else thinks. That don't matter. You just come and let's talk and we heal. That's all that matters. And
Right.
that's how I feel like that's if the world was like that, it'd be such a better place. Heck,
It
it would
would
probably
be.
come in this land and everything will get reversed and go back to how it's supposed to be. To be that's I mean, he said only way, but unfortunately we know that's not gonna happen, so
Right.
till I knew Jerusalem.
So I know you just preached the word, but we cannot close this out without offering some advice for the folks who have, live a similar life, who are maybe trying to get out of that lifestyle. What advice would you give them?
um, First and foremost, I would say anything, love yourself, put first, submit to him, learn your identity through Christ to avoid getting caught up in abusive relationships, to avoid having low self-esteem and not, what I'm saying, feeling like you're worth anything. Also, I know people be like, okay, God, give me the words to say. Sometimes how I say things, like what I'm thinking in my head, it doesn't come out right. Father God, just give me the words to say. Okay, I would say be true to yourself. Um, because a lot of times we live life for others. We live on how we think that they think we should be. And when you do that, you don't live for God and yourself. You're not free, you're trapped. And when you're trapped, you're subject to be vulnerable and you fall into other situations or lifestyles and you hang around. Spirits attract each other. So a miserable spirit or a depressed spirit, it knows another depressed spirit. It knows another miserable spirit. It knows another lying spirit. It knows another sexual spirit. So you'll start to attract those things. So my main thing is that you always make sure that your heart is right, your spirit is in check, because if not, you're like all those things will follow you. And before you know it, you're doing things that's not you, and you don't want to get trapped in that type of lifestyle. Like, I'm just gonna get real and raw right now. If don't nobody want to hear this, you can log off. I don't care. But right now, I'm about to say this for somebody that needs to hear this. I used sex. I used weed, even powder a couple times to mask my emotions. I started robbing people because I was angry. Um, I started stripping because I didn't care about myself. I at times I sold my body because I didn't love myself. And all of that was because I didn't know my identity in Christ. I allowed myself to get beaten by a man, to get raped in my own relationship multiple times by that same man. I allowed him to hold guns to my head. I allowed him to force me to rob people. I allowed him to be the cause of the reason why I lost custody over my daughter. I allowed him to get me sent to prison for 3.5 to 4 years of my life. And all of that was because I didn't know my identity in Christ. I didn't know my self-worth. I didn't know how much God loved me. I knew it. I just chose to ignore it. Like, I chose to run away from God. I chose to let things that I went through growing up as a child affect me as today. I was seriously hurt. I got betrayed by my own mother. She dated a boyfriend that I had and continued to date him throughout high school and some afterwards. That's an embarrassment all in itself, not on top of that with her being a lesbian too. So I had a lot of emotional issues, a lot of mental issues where my mind was not right. And the first person that would smile or showed me any type of kindness or love, I would easily fall into it. And a lot of things, and it led to me just not doing the right things. I attracted those spirits, but it felt good because I already knew it, and it kept me there because it was familiar, and we don't realize it. And so I say to not get there, just stay in your word, stay prayed up. It's okay to talk to people. It's okay, talk to someone. It's okay to get help. Mental health is a really big thing. Like, it's okay to help. Find you someone that you can trust. Go talk to them. Pray. Stay in your word. Seek counsel. It's okay. Don't let nobody tell you it's okay. I know a lot of times we grew up in black homes, they talking about you don't need no therapist, you don't need to go talk to nobody, you handling broke, you know what I'm saying? No. Because when you hold all that in, it just tears on you, and it just deteriorates your true spirit, and it wears you down, and it becomes a heavy burden, and before you know it, like, you just succumb to that life and that lifestyle, and you look up. Years have gone by, you have nothing to show for anything. It's the same thing every day, but just different familiar spirits with different faces just coming along throughout your life, and you will stay in that repeated cycle. So, and it's a fight to come out of it. It really is. It's a fight. Me being 32 years, I still battle with things, but every day as I submit and just let God take more control, it gets easier. So I just say stay prayed up, keep your faith, keep your face focused on God, and don't worry about stuff, because when you stay focused on Him, He supplies everything that you need anyway. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and everything else will follow through, and that is so true. And I had to learn that the hard way, and just keep Him first, man. Just always and ask Him questions about you. He will tell you. Don't be people say you're not supposed to question God. Yes, you are. He wants you to ask Him questions. He told me that. He wants you to ask Him questions. How are you gonna know anything if you don't ask Him questions? You gotta ask. Closed mouths don't get fed. You gotta ask.
Yeah, the word says you have not because you ask not.
Exactly. So there it is, all in itself. So, and also surround yourself around, if you're not there yet, surround yourself around people that are already where you want to be. Surround yourself around people that only elevate you, surround yourself around people that only have conversations that are godly and uplifting and are positive. Surround yourself around those type of people. Even if you feel like it, even if you don't feel like that yourself, do it, because what'll happen is they will uplift you to their level, and you will start to become what you're being around, because you become what you are. You become what you surround yourself with. You are your environment. So you will become that. And just pray for God to take away your desires and give you the desires that He has for you. And it will change. It will, because it's like a lot of things that I used to indulge in, a lot of things that I used to like, a lot of conversation that I would used to that I would have entertained. I don't, because it's like, ew, I used to think like that, or wow, I spoke like that. Or like, ooh, even looking back at my past, like, oh my gosh, like, because he's helped me heal with loving myself and knowing and learning my self-worth. And it's like, oh my God, I let myself, I allowed myself to let myself get weak enough or to get low enough to allow those things to happen to me. Because at the end of the day, yes, another person did it, but they can only do what you allow. So I allowed all of that because I didn't know my self-worth. I didn't know who I was in Christ. And that's why it's important to really find out who you are before getting in relationships and everything. Because people don't even realize that when you get in a relationship, a soul tie is serious. And y'all spirits, whether you're sexual or not, is gonna connect because you notice like how your girl, like, or that you start acting alike. I start acting like it's because your spirits is always connecting. You ain't even got to be sexual for that. If you're around them constantly all the time, 24/7, your spirits are interacting just like you're interacting. I mean, your spirit first. This body is just something to cover up our spirit so we can walk around on this earth. So be careful about all of that. So yeah, just stay focused on God. That's all I have to say. Just keep him first and foremost in everything. Question him. Always ask him things about you. Start your day with prayer and ask him, God, what you want me to do? Who do I need to talk to? How do I need to talk to this person? Every single thing. Even ask him how he wants you to do your hair, because he know. He'll tell you, you know what, today I want you to have favor with this. So I want you to do your hair like this. Wear that shirt. Wear those pants. Wear those shoes. And favor throughout the day today. Like, he does that. He loves us that much. Like, he does that. So that's all I have to say.
That's so amazing.
To avoid all people, just keep him first. Everything.
Yes. So many people be like, don't bother God with the little things. And I'm like, no. God dressed me for a job interview that I got on the spot one day because he allowed me to wear the colors of the organization. I didn't even know it was their colors. And that we all just have to be in the office with all the same colors on. I'm like, okay, God, you could dress me every day.
He knows. Like, if he knows all of us, don't you think he know what the manager is thinking who's going to hire you? Don't you think he knows how his perception will be and how you need to come so you can kind of like match up to what he would probably already be thinking or show differently from what he might think?
Yes.
Like, he created all of us. He knows each and every one of our thoughts. He knows if you're going to deal with a stuck-up person, so he will let you know how to deal with that stuck-up person or how to deal with that angry person, or he lets you know that. You just got to be willing to. Like, that's how he loves us that much. Like, if we really just did that, our life would, like, we really would just, because then the enemy, technically the enemy, he wouldn't even have no room to come in to kill, steal, and destroy, because our faith would be so strong, like, it wouldn't phase us. He would really be like, dang, I got to give up with this person, so just let them go, because I already know that God, you got this when it comes to me. There's nothing that I can do that will make them waver or fall short of your glory from you. So you know what? My hands is off this one. Next, and then he gonna try to find his next victim. Because there are people that have gotten to the points in their life where they experience just that full, like they ain't having all that no more because the devil already know. Like, he only tries to attack you because he knows our weaknesses. And then when you get all of them, like when you really like, that's what my grandma Mary told me. My grandma Mary told me, I guess the devil got tired of realizing that I won't giving up, and then I'm God, so he just quit coming with the attacks. And her life was just wonderful. Like, and people and strong people in faith, like that type of life is possible. And to have an unwavering faith so strong like that it moves mountains, and that Satan will be so scared of you, he ain't even gonna try you because he already know. We can get there. We all have that ability to get there.
Yes, it's just like when you're so on fire for God, the enemy don't want to come near you because he know he's gonna get burned.
Gonna set the attack before it. You gonna already see it, and you gonna already been rebuked it, and you ain't gonna worry about it no more. And God gonna move with. Got that out the way. Next.
Great, man. It was such a pleasure having you on, Miss Charnelle. You are always a joy to have. I love talking to you.
I love talking to you too. Yeah, so in the next one, I'm ready.
Okay. Yes. I want to thank you for joining us, and then just pray that God just continue to pour into you as you pour into others, that He will overflow your cup. Let's pray that.
Yes.
That's what we're asking for, overflow. To all the listeners, you all be blessed. Know that God got it. Just continue to trust in Him, and don't be scared to step out on faith. Until next week.